going to happen right now. All right, here we are.
Whoa, that was
Did you
quick.
see that wall go by?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about the second topic that I'm gonna throw out there is the 2016 election. It's been 3 weeks. We've had 3 debates since then. We've had a number of scandals and leaks, emails, videos, audio,
There's emails now?
tracks, everything. Oh yeah. So I wanted to pick you guys' brains about what you're kind of thinking, what you're feeling. What are your thoughts on this? We can start all the way back, I guess, towards the first debate, where Trump and Hillary, were there, and we heard amazing words like bigly and bogadicious.
Who said that? Who said bogadicious?
These are Trump's words.
Oh,
Bogadicious, bigly, lots of sniffling from him. You had, and then.
Yeah, but
sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
And then you just had some moderators that were pretty cool, and I thought they did a good job during this debate. And then all the way down to the fact that now Trump is saying that the election is rigged, despite a number of evidence and studies that dispute it. So, sure, braggadocious. What did I say? Bogadicious? Oh, braggadocious was the word he used.
Oh,
I've been corrected by your senior correspondent, Sarah Kisko. She has let us know that the word that he actually said was braggadocious.
Braggadocious.
Yeah.
One big
he
thing
said people who are good with computers are 300 pounds. That was a great one. Yeah. My mouth dropped, and I just yeah.
It's like that SNL
Sounds like you
skit.
need to gain some weight.
It's like the SNL skit with Hillary. She's just like, I'm gonna be president. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys seen that one.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
dying.
Yeah.
I don't know. You guys gotta watch that one if you haven't seen it.
That was
One big thing that came out is Ken Bone, of course.
Ken Bone.
You know,
He said
he's
that?
like, no, Ken Bone.
Oh, I
You
don't know
guys-
what Ken Bone is.
No, what is it?
the guy with the red sweater at the one debate. You guys haven't
I didn't
heard
watch
of-
any. I haven't watched any debates.
I've watched all 3. I don't know what you're talking about. I've watched the vice president debate. Who is Ken
the
Bone?
guy that you haven't heard about Ken Bone, like
Come on,
the
this
guy
sounds
with the
like a-
red sweater and everything, the
Is
bigger
he trolling
guy.
for that?
I think
Oh.
he's got to be trolling. I know who the fuck. Ken Bone doesn't even sound
Ken
real.
Bone. That doesn't even sound like anything. Like,
Oh, I
is his
see.
Last name Bone?
Okay.
Do me a favor, just
Yeah,
Google it.
I
man.
see him. I see him.
Yeah,
Okay, what about
you guys.
him?
He's like a big internet sensation now.
I don't. Do you know why?
Well,
Yeah,
he was just
why-
asking questions at the one debate. I forgot what kind of format they call it, where people will ask them questions instead of just a moderator, and it's like in a room and they're standing in the middle of it.
Yeah, I can't remember what his actual question was.
Well, he was talking, I think, about
Is he good with computers?
power and probably. But the one thing that really pisses me off about all these debates and everything is that everyone's just like, oh, they're two terrible people and all this other stuff. Why does no one there's other people to vote for out there?
Gary Johnson for the Libertarian Party. You have Jill
Boom,
Stein for the Green Tea Party.
Exactly.
Or the Green Party. Sorry, that Green Tea is.
And
way
R.L. Stein?
No,
For the
that
Goosebumps
for the Goosebumps Party. Steve's got to write in. We have 50,000 for Goosebumps Party. R.L. Stein. He gets a phone call the next morning, like, "Sir, Mr. President, this sounds like
It's like,
one of
what
my
the-
books. What's going on?" Sorry, Ian. What were you gonna say?
No, that's funny. Yeah, why aren't they allowed to be at the debates?
Right. Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. I mean, it's not like it's gonna hurt anything. Like, why do you only have to have both of those two parties? It's ridiculous.
I think don't quote me on this, but I believe it's based off,
Percentages.
I think, on how many people are already voting for that. Because there has been presidential debates with independents because they've had
Right.
the type of following. Now, if you don't have that, it's the same way that the primaries go, right? Each candidate is invited based on their percentage of voters. And as that percentage dwindles down closer to 2%, they do not get invited to be at the presidential debate anymore. That's why we saw the Republican primaries dwindle down each time, because people were getting outed. And so
It's
I'm like,
complete
I'm not.
horseshit, though, because you don't sit there and give them a chance to actually get voters and get their word out.
So I agree and I disagree. I think that the system of who is actually being followed is appropriate in how to determine who gets to go up there. But I think the reason why they don't have that much votes is because of money. And if you look at the past independent candidates that have been up in those presidential elections, those presidential debates, like Ross Perot, he was like a millionaire, billionaire. Like he had a ton of money, and that's the problem. I think these campaigns are run through money and more
that's
money,
bullshit.
right? And I think if you eliminate that, then everybody has a fair footing to send the message and gain traction. And then I think you will see it even out. And I would imagine. But here's the thing: as much as I agree with that notion, I don't necessarily agree that this election, Gary Johnson or Jill Stein should have been up there. Gary Johnson fumbled on the Aleppo question, and he fumbled on another question, and that alone to me says you're not prepared. You're not prepared, and you don't necessarily then belong up there on that stage.
Well, look at Trump and Clinton also fumbling too. They do the same shit.
No, not to the point of like not knowing major cities and conflicts.
Oh yeah.
They fumble on like maybe their policies or the stuff they've done in the past. But when they go, what are you going to do about ISIS? They don't go, what's ISIS? Like,
well,
where you've been, you're a presidential candidate. You're like, I mean, he didn't do it that bad, but he still didn't know what the fuck Aleppo was. And to me, that's like a red flag. And it's like, okay, you got to be prepared for that, man.
But why does it come down to money? Why? So only rich people can run for president?
Actually,
that's bullshit.
I agree.
That's complete horseshit.
It is, and that's why I was so behind Bernie Sanders in a lot of his policies, because he wanted to, sorry, Steve, he wanted to take down Wall Street for their like too big to fail, and he wanted to take down one of his big things they wanted to do was remove money and PACs, super PACs from presidential candidates and running, take the money out of the elections to make it even for everybody. Because you're right, as of right now, you can only run if you have a shit ton of money that you're able to raise.
I thought they're already pretty much doing that though, because remember, like I don't remember, you guys remember Stephen Colbert was going to run and Doritos was going to sponsor him, but he couldn't, they wouldn't let him do that because Doritos can't sponsor, you can't have like a big company like that sponsor a presidential campaign.
Yeah,
but the thing is, they all do. It doesn't matter. They hide it.
It's called a super PAC, and a super PAC cannot like the president and the super PAC cannot ever talk face to face. But there's so many loopholes. They have people who talk to other people who create these super PACs who then discuss and then make favors and then get money. It's ridiculous, right? Without the president ever having to breathe. And so you're absolutely correct, Ian. It's corrupt, and it needs to change. It's
extremely. And then the other part of it, I mean, I don't want to dive too far into it, is how Congress is held too. So it's ridiculous that they make so much money and they get nothing done.
Yeah, no, they can literally take a vacation while the Zika virus. We talked about this on our last podcast. Yeah, it's stupid, and that stuff needs to change. And
so, all this being said, you guys still think your vote matters?
Yes,
of course it does.
Absolutely, dude. Okay. Never in my life have I been more confident about that. Look at Brexit. Look at Colombia. Look at the Trump primaries. Do you really think the Republican Party wanted Trump to?
They didn't.
There's no way they wanted him to be. And if it was truly rigged, if it was truly able, like your vote didn't matter, Trump would not be up there on that stage. Bar none.
Who would be up there?
Jeb Bush. Easily. They wanted Jeb Bush up there. I mean, even before this.
Or Ted Cruz.
I mean, dude. It's insane, and I'm scared because I don't want a Brexit or Colombia situation to happen in the United States. So your vote absolutely matters, and I encourage you to go out there and vote for what you believe in.
That's why I'm going Gary Johnson.
Gary Johnson,
third party man.
So if Trump is our next president, you don't think it's rigged?
No, I would never. I wouldn't. I would be like, yeah. I'm very pragmatic and logical about this, and if Trump were to be the next president, my thoughts would immediately, because I have thought about this, I'd be like, well, what could have happened to have him win, right? Well, he's the underdog. All of his supporters right now feel that they need to try their damnedest, right? It's like fucking bottom of the ninth. It's 3 outs. They got 2 outs, 3 guys on base. There are a couple runs behind. They need to do the best they can, right? So they're going to go out in droves. Meanwhile, the Democratic Party, if they're feeling like Hillary's been killing it this whole time, they're going to be maybe complacent, rest on their laurels a little bit, right? Like, well,
I don't think they are. This shit's all over YouTube right now. It's like everywhere I look, it doesn't matter.
Well, that's just it. If it doesn't matter, then people are not going to go out and like. If they're like, "Wait, she's going to win," my vote won't. Like, she'll win anyway. It's the same thing that happened with Brexit. They did not think that vote would actually go through, and it did. Mm-hmm. And it's because people didn't go out because they were like, "This is never going to go through. I don't need to vote," and they didn't vote. But they had enough opposition for it that went out to vote, and it won like 53 to 47%, which is crazy. Which I can absolutely see happening if people don't take it seriously, because they're just like, somebody else will do it for me. Like, it's fine.
Well, the thing is that it's ridiculous for Hillary to be up there. I mean, look at like Watergate and everything, and things being deleted. People get like roasted, and she sat there and lied to the FBI, and she's still up there running for president. Like, I just don't get that.
We have two very shady individuals that are in the two biggest parties running for president right now.
Who's the less shady though?
But
I don't think it matters. I think there's a point at which you become shady and you're just shady. And you've just done some really questionable things in the past.
And not only that, but think about that. If you or I did anything remotely of what she did, we'd be sitting in prison.
Maybe. They've done studies.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Can I say a plus side on this?
They've asked ex-FBI directors, and they've said that they wouldn't, like, the reason why she's not in jail for the information that they have is that because anybody beyond someone actually in the FBI wouldn't be in jail. They wouldn't.
Really?
Yeah. They've asked ex-FBI directors of that. And that's the problem. Like, there's a lot of hyperbole and what would you call it? Like urban myth style kind of going on of this like drumbeat of like, no, this has happened, and like, yeah, 33,000 emails were deleted. She used a private server. Republican Secretary of States, including Colin Powell, have used their own private servers. In fact, she was told by Colin Powell to use a private server as advice. So like, it's I think they're making mountains out of molehills. I don't deny that it's questionable, but the Republicans have now done 6 or so investigations that have cost thousands of dollars of taxpayers' money to find the same result, which is nothing. Right? So until proven guilty, like, I understand, dude, I'm not defending her or Bill Clinton's actions at any point, but until proven, like, they have done their investigations, and they have concluded that there's nothing there that there's just nothing there. So, I mean, at what point is this a potential huge threat to, okay, maybe there's some small shady stuff she did, but really this, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't really matter. Like, we thought it was something bigger, but if it was really bigger, I really feel like we would have found it by now. And maybe I'm wrong, but like, I'm just...
On the plus side, though, if Trump does become president, we'll have some funny comedian shit for the next, like, 4 years.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man, it's you know, yeah. It's so crazy. Like,
yeah.
The reason, so Ian, I think you and I are very similar in a lot of ways. I actually lean more libertarian as a party.
I am. Yeah.
I'm socially inclusive, and that's the right word. Like, I'm all for LGBT communities. Like, that's why we open with ladies and gentlemen and everyone in between. That's for every bi-gender person who doesn't even associate with a gender, right? So like, I truly believe in that, and I truly believe in gay marriage and all that stuff. That's why but I am socially, or I'm rather fiscally conservative. Like, I think we should be very smart with our money. I think we should be very, like, diligent in the ways that we handle our external affairs and all that stuff. So the Libertarian Party speaks to me, but like, like I said, I can't really necessarily follow Gary Johnson. And when I'm looking at the next two big parties, between the Republican and the Democratic Party speaks to me more in the policies and prioritization of them, rather than Trump's version of it. Like, so there's two. What I'm starting to describe, is that there's two layers. You have the party's platform, which I don't believe in. The Republican Party's platform is so tied to Christian values that I can't bring myself to vote for Republican currently, even though I agree with them financially in a lot of ways.
Right.
But on top of that, now you have Trump, who stands for everything I don't like. Like, yeah, he says it like he is, but he's a dick, and he's a bully, and he's a baby, and like he just he just bullies people. He does not respect women. He like, ergo his like audio track that he was saying how he just grabs women by the genitalia, and he's really proud that he can do it because he's a celebrity, and like I grew up around people like that, and it would sicken me to have that person represent us, right? So let alone party differences and policies, it's not even about that at this point. It's about like I can't vote for a guy like that. And then, I can't vote for Republican because I don't believe in their platform. That's where I stand on that election.
Right. No, I got it. I'm definitely all for third-party candidates, and I think that we need to have more of a choice than just two people that everyone's like, oh, which one's the lesser of two evils? Just don't pick one of them. Pick someone else. Yeah. You don't have to just choose between the two. And so I lean more libertarian. I agree with you. I think our views are pretty similar. So,
and you know what? I have a suspicion that the Libertarian Party might gain a lot more traction. Like, dude, the GOP, the Republican Party, is crazy divided between the populist movement of the Trump supporters and the old guard of the evangelical GOP standard, right? A lot of people are questioning if this Republican Party actually stands after this election. There's a real possibility that the House, Congress, and the White House all go Democratic. What happens then? Like, it would be really interesting to see if the Republican Party just disassembles and forms into the Libertarian Party for the next, which would be really great, because then I would really feel like the Republican Party has like fucking modernized and evolved to a modern kind of platform. Or do they, or do they stay the course? It will be really interesting because, again, Hillary is not strong. I think she's strong in her own ways, but I think if you put someone like Mitt Romney against her, man, I would really question the outcome.
I agree with you there. I think if Mitt was in there, it would be a different story right now.
Yeah, or Paul Ryan. Like, you put a traditional Republican politician in there, and I really question what would happen. Mm-hmm. And so the next 4 years are going to be interesting, because if Hillary doesn't have some like slam dunks, I mean, we could be looking which pains me, because even if the candidate's not even a better candidate than Hillary Clinton, but he's better than Trump, right? He's got to be. We could be just looking at a turn, and if it is the old guard of the Republican platform in anti-gay marriage, less progressive like social care for people, like mental illness and like Obamacare, all that stuff. Like, if they try to like redo all that work and start from scratch. Like, I feel like that would set our country back, and that sucks.
And Steve-O, definitely go vote, dude.
Yeah, man.
I've never voted.
You should this election.
Yeah, you really should.
That's what they said when Obama hit office and when George Bush was in office.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely has repercussions on your life. All right, we've talked enough to death about this topic. Let's go to our next topic.
Is Ken Bone, of course.
Ken Bone?
You know, he's
like, no, Ken Bone.
I don't know what Ken Bone is.
No, what is it?
The guy with the red sweater at the one debate. You guys haven't heard?
I haven't watched any debates.
I've watched all three. I don't know what you're talking about. I've watched the vice president debate. Who is Ken
the
Bone?
guy that you haven't heard about Ken Bone? Like,
come on,
the guy with the red sweater and everything, the bigger guy.
I think he's got to be trolling. I know who the fuck is. Ken Bone doesn't even sound real.
Ken Bone. That doesn't even sound like anything.
Oh, I see.
Last name Bone?
Okay.
Do me a favor. Just Google it.
I see him.
Yeah.
Okay. What about
you guys?
him?
He's like been like a big internet sensation now.
I don't. Do you know why?
Well, he was just asking questions at the one debate. I forgot what kind of format they call it, where like people will ask them questions instead of just a moderator, and it's like in a room and they're standing in the middle of it.
Yeah, I can't remember what his actual question was.
Well, he was talking, I think, about
is he good with computers?
Power and probably, but. The one thing that really pisses me off about all these debates and everything is that everyone's just like, oh, they're two terrible people and all this other stuff. Why does no...
We can start all the way back, I guess, towards the first debate where Trump and Hillary were there, and we heard amazing words like bigly and bogadicious.
Who said that? Who said bogadicious?
These are Trump's words.
Oh,
bogadicious, bigly, lots of sniffling from him. You had and then
Yeah, but
sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
And then you just had like some moderators that were pretty cool, and I thought they did a good job during this debate. And then all the way down to the fact that now Trump is saying that the election is rigged, despite a number of evidence and studies that dispute it. So, sure, braggadocious. What is it? Bogadocious? Oh, braggadocious was the word he used.
Oh,
I've been corrected by our senior correspondent Sarah Kisco. She has let us know that the word that he actually said was braggadocious.
Braggadocious.
Yeah. Oh,
Like,
and then he said people who are good with computers are 300 pounds. That was a great watch. Yeah, my mouth dropped, and I just yeah.
It's like that SNL
Sounds like you
skit.
need to gain some weight.
It's like the SNL skit with Hillary. She's just like, I'm gonna be president. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys seen that one.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
dying.
Yeah.
I don't know. You guys gotta watch that one if you haven't seen it.
That was
One big thing that came out.
which is going to happen right now. All right, here we
Whoa,
are.
that was
You
quick.
see that wall go by?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about the second topic that I'm gonna throw out there is the 2016 election. It's been 3 weeks. We've had 3 debates since then. We've had a number of scandals and leaks, emails, videos, audio,
There's emails now?
tracks, everything. Oh yeah. So I wanted to pick you guys' brains about what you've kind of thinking, what you're feeling. What are your thoughts on this?